Hey guys, so today I want to talk to y'all a little bit about survivability in Lost Ark. Things like, armor level, armor quality, how much your stone is upgraded by, things that help you survive in game. And I'm talking about this because in the past in Lost Ark, there definitely has been more of an emphasis to upgrade your weapon quality, right? Push your weapon up quality up to push it up to 90, 99, max 100. And I think that things have changed a little bit where I think upgrading your armor is a lot more important than ever. If you think about it this way, right? Back in the day when it was like Vicus, Fulton, maybe even Argos, the amount of damage that the bosses did was significantly less. I would say that when I was playing back then in Vulcan, Vicus, I was like, well, it doesn't really matter if your class is very tanky or not. You could be like a gunslinger or a striker, as long as you either don't get hit or when you get hit, you just react, you'll pretty much never die. Like, none of the hits, none of the attacks from the boss really ever one-shot you unless it was like a one-shot mechanic or something that knocked you off the stage, right? So back then, in my opinion, it really wasn't important to upgrade your armor that much because all you need to do was be on quick on your fingers and pot at the right time. But things have really changed since then. I'd say starting with maybe even Brel Hard, attacks really hurt from the boss. Like even today, from playing a 1600 character, I feel like if my support isn't on top of it, I'm chugging quite a bit of pots. And I think that with Thaemine coming out as well, this is increasingly becoming more and more important. And I think it's actually a perfect time to talk about this because somebody actually uploaded a chart on including all the survivability stats of all the different DPS classes and the support classes in the game, depending on their grading. So we're actually going to hop into that right now. So here is the list of every single class and their kind of defense rating when they're running certain engravings, like heavy armor over here, grudge over here, ether predator 1, things like that. And for the most part, I think things are pretty predictable, right? You have your Gunlancer at the top, you have your Reaper at the bottom. I think Machinists, they kind of talk about this as like when you're in evolutionary, when you're in Evo mode, right? Your shield is your HP because the moment your shield disappears, you actually get out of your Evo mode. So that's why he's down here. But everything else is pretty dang predictable. You have this Gunlancer at the top, War Dancer with energy combustion here, really high up as well. And you have like Reaper at the bottom, Deadeye at the bottom, Gunslinger at the bottom. These classes are known as the squishiest classes in the game. And over here, we have the supports, of course. Paladin Heavy Armor 3, tankiest support, right? You have Bard Heavy Armor 3, Artis Heavy Armor 3. You can see the trend here. But I think this is a really important or interesting chart to look at because you can really take a look at it and gauge how survivable you are in a raid. Should you be playing a lot more careful than other people? Should you be, a little bit more aggressive because your character is more tanky than others? I think taking a look at defense is actually pretty important to keeping your DPS high because you need to be alive at the end of the day to do damage, right? So if you're playing, let's say, a Reaper, right? Most of you guys know this, but some of you guys might not. Or maybe it's like a sourceless, you didn't know you were this squishy. You need to pay attention to what your health is. You need to know I'm kind of one of the squishiest classes in the game, so I probably shouldn't be greeting as much compared to if I was on a War Dancer, for example, energy combustion. If I have energy combustion on, I am breeding the shit out of that boss because when I get hit, I pretty much will take no damage. So that's kind of like something you need to keep in mind as you're playing the game. And also as we progress further into the game itself, I think that this becomes more and more important as well because Thaemine really hurts. This brings me to the topic of kind of armors, right? Right now, we have this thing where most people upgrade their weapons as their priority. Their weapons are probably 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever, and their armors are probably below the item level required for the gear. And what I mean by that is you might be 1620 for hard volts, right? But normally a 1620 is like, I forget what it is. Let's just say it's like plus 17, plus 18, plus, I think it's like plus 19 everything, right? Let's say normally it's a plus 19 everything is a requirement for Voldus. Hard Voldus at 1620. Well, some people have like plus 20, plus 21 weapon, and then they have like a plus 18 helmet and a plus 18 chest or something like that. So while they meet the item level requirements for the raid itself, their armor is actually lower honed than the required level, the average level, the average 19 level. Right now, that's fine. But when we get into Thaemine, you will actually get negatives. You will actually be, punished for having lower armor hones than the item level required for Thaemine. So you actually be taking exponentially more damage because of that. So that's something to keep in mind for when you get into Thaemine. You should upgrade your armor to the point of, the item level that's required to enter into the raid. That way you're not taking as much damage. Because in Thaemine, it really is a very, 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 hard raid, and that the boss hits hard. And you can see this because actually, when you look at Loawa, right, there are actually people running Crisis Aversion, right? Crisis Aversion heavy armor on Paladin. That is kind of the meta for Thaemine right now because it is that imperative for the support to live and also that easy for the support to die compared to our current content. I feel like in the past, I was playing a support of Bard Heavy Armor 3, I pretty much could never die. But I feel like when we get to Thaemine, that might not be the case, given what people in Korea are running. And also, you can even see things like this, right? This video by Agram. Why Lost Ark Korean rankers are using Aether Predator 3. Again, Aether Predator 3 is more of a survivability engraving. Now, it does give you damage, but people will take Aether Predator 3 when they're thinking about survivability over damage. And he does go into explain a little bit of why the Korean players do this and how there's a part in Thaemine that prevents you from healing as much. And, long story short, Aether Predator 3 basically gives you the ability to heal better. But there is another reason as well, which is also the survivability. It is important. Having Aether Predator 3 will make you more tanky as a character. So defense is more and more becoming an important thing in the game. So as you guys are honing up, as you guys are going higher item level, as you guys are getting closer to later game content, I would definitely suggest you guys take a look at your gear. Is your gear, still green quality on your armors, right? If it is, it might be worth upgrading that to at least blue level armor, right? Is your rock not upgraded yet, especially on your main, right? It might be worth it to upgrade that rock so you have more health or survivability. And then also, lastly, take a look at your honing levels, right? If your honing levels on your armor is lower than the required levels for Thaemine, it might be time to hone that up and get that to the right level. That way, when you're doing Thaemine, you're not going to get one shot. Because as we get later and later in the game, it seems like that is more and more of the case. So hopefully this video was interesting and helpful to you guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought and whether or not you have, let's say, solid quality gear at the moment. And yeah, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and also I stream every single night on twitch.tv/MisoXshiro at 10 p.m. PST. So hopefully see y'all on my stream, but if not, hopefully I see you guys on the next video. Alright guys, peace out.